Hey there, everybody. It is Monday morning, and we're ready to do this stream. OBS is working well. Adobe Illustrator is working well. Cross our fingers that the gremlins are still asleep. You know, they like to screw with me, especially on Mondays. So let me fix this little camera here. No, other way. There we go. I was going to get a little bit off frame. But yeah, as you can see in the background here, we've got only 2 frames. It's a quick story to tell today, as opposed to that 4-framer that I had the other day. It kind of took a little bit longer. Maybe today we'll actually stick within the hour. If we don't, it's no big deal. You know, I like spending time with you guys. But, you know, there's no need to drag out a story that, yeah, that can be told in 2 frames. So, yeah, I like to, that's the flexibility of doing a webcomic, is that you're not stuck to one certain format or size or length or anything like that. You can, even not the same voice. You don't really have to. So, I'm going to talk like this for now. That's not what we mean by voice. So I'm not ever going to do that voice again. That's a lie. I'll probably do it sometime, but not currently. All right, so we've got this 2-panel strip, and it's not. I guess it's somewhat based on a true story in that the premise being when you get back from an extended vacation, there's a lot of laundry to do. There's a lot. You know, you camp for a week and a half in 100-degree heat and then downpour rain. There's a lot of laundry involved. So this one's about laundry and about mountaineering. There you go. I spent this weekend camping in the rain because I can't get enough of that with Janelle's family, J Puff's family. It was fun. It would have been way, way, way better with drier, warmer weather, but we got through. They're very competitive, that family. They're washer tournaments and cornhole tournaments, which isn't what you think it is. Boy, was I disappointed. It was just people throwing beanbags at a board. Color me embarrassed. But I participated in as much as I could, and yeah, there we go. I think I held up okay. So let's just get into the drawing. Enough of me talking about everything. So I've got a 2-panel frame or a 2-panel template set up today. It's already saved as tomorrow's date because that's the date that it will post. You, my fabulous Patreon patrons, get this 24-hour preview as part of your benefit. I've actually been thinking about reformatting the exchange levels, or the gift levels, I guess, the award levels of my Patreon, and adding some more benefits to it. Kind of taking out maybe some of the stuff that nobody's cares about. I know most of you guys don't care about anything. You just throw the money at me as a way of supporting my art, and I appreciate that. It's very, very cool. But I'm hoping to maybe we'll mix it up a little bit and get some more juice going for you guys, because everybody loves juice. Yeah. All right. Let's draw this thing. So it's going to start off on the blue line layer with the blob brush going. I've already checked that it's a 3-point thingamajigger. Zoom in a little bit here, and the first panel is going to be troll. Well, yeah. Let's see how our loops do today. You never can tell. Hey, look at that. They don't know that it's Monday. I don't like that line, so let's redo it. Magic of modern marvels. Over this weekend, we had a little fiesta, and I had a little tiny sombrero that if any of you are friends on Facebook with J Puff, or maybe if I got tagged in it, I'm not sure. There's a picture of me wearing like a little fascinator-sized sombrero. And she said that it reminded her of Troll's hat, because it's so tiny that I just had it stuck off the side of my head. So I guess I was cosplaying my own OC this weekend. Is it your OC if it's kind of an autobiographical thing? I don't know. Maybe my parents get the credit for that. It's their OC. Drink of water today, kids. All right, let's save that. We got the troll's head in there with no weirdness in the loops, so I count that as a victory. And then J Puff is going to be right. Meow. Oops, that was a terrible line. My my tablet slid out from under my hand for a second. And I think, you know, it's been a while since we've drawn her, so I'm happy to see her back here. But I think as I'm looking at the composition of this, I'm just going to select everything and drag these guys down farther. Because it's not about them, it's about the conversation that they're having. Alright, so then let's get the old blob brush going again. Of course, Troll's got to have his mansplaining hand out. His favorite pose. He looks like Zoidberg with that thumb. There we go. I don't like the way that that arm touches the edge of the frame, so we'll fix that before we're done here today. He's under duress, so he's got some sweat flying off of him there. When isn't Troll under duress, though, it seems? I am pleased to announce that I was not accosted by any Sasquatches. Although there was rumor of a albino raccoon. I didn't see the albino raccoon either. Alright, and we might as well just do his little hooves here. Drawing these lines where he's off of vacation, so he's back to wearing the flannel. So we'll just draw these in to remind me to draw the plaid in. Because you all know how much I love it. Maybe he'll be holding like a jug of laundry detergent. Okay. And she is talking. He's having a conversation. They conversating. Okay, and then let's save that. Hope everyone's doing all right this Monday morning. It's tough. It's tough getting. Winston's over here looking at me. He's wondering who the hell I'm talking to. He's like, the cloud went to work. Who are you talking to? That's not how Winston talks either. But at least he doesn't talk like this. Oh, what you doing, mister? All right, so we've got in here a pile of stuff. Actually, I want that to be lower, though. Okay. And then we're going to have Winston. And, you know, I don't draw Winston often enough. So he doesn't really have a style sheet. I should make a style sheet for him. But we're going to start off with a little triangle ear. I think that's a good place to start. And then he's wearing a hat in this one. Because, you know, I like to put him in costumes. All right, let's zoom in here a little bit so we don't have to get so weird on that. All right, let's do that little triangle on him, and then he's going to be wearing lederhosen. Let's see, I want his arm to go this way. He can be doing the mansplain hand in the other direction with his. I don't know that I've ever drawn his palm before, so we'll just give him 3 dots there. All right. He's going to be chubby in this one. He's not actually chubby. He's a very, very svelte young man. Very, very svelte old man, rather. Let's see here. Gotta have the collar of his shirt sticking out. My major freelance client has a client that is a German festival, and it's actually based in a town with pretty notable German heritage in Texas, New Braunfels, Texas. No relation. Let's see here. So I want. That's the beauty of the blue line. Is that I can adjust these things as I need them. See, now all those loops are filling up again. There's no rhyme or reason. I haven't changed the brush. I haven't changed any settings at all. But it's filling up the loops in his little boot there, the tread on his boot. See, it even filled up that little loop. No idea. Eventually I'll stop bitching about it, but it's just mystifying. Okay, so what I want is him to have an alpine horn. Just swoop down here and then up. Alright, he's got that. So we'll put his little paw right there for it. Make his arm come down more. This is going to be saying Ricola. And then over here, it's going to be a mountain goat. Because it's a mountain of laundry. Get it? Oh man, some good stuff right here, folks. This is this is the quality content that you pay for every month. Alright, sorry, I wasn't picking my nose, that was a scratch. It was an itch, it was on the outside. That's not true. Alright, so I was just looking over at my thing here. It says only one person's watching, and I think that's me. So hopefully there's not another. I don't know what the heck's been going on with this feed lately. But hopefully there's no technical difficulties keeping you guys away. But I'm just gonna keep doing this. All right, and then there's gonna be, like a sock over here, and a shirt over here, pair of pants, another shirt, another sock. There has to be an odd number of socks, Underpants. Get rid of that line there. All right, and you know, just enough for people to get the idea. All right. Maybe the goat is chewing on a sock. All right. So let's save that. Control S. We'll take a little drink of water. And then we're going to hop up here to the balloon layer. Let's lock out the blue line layer. And put our caps locks on. Drag out. Oops. Drag out some conversation squares. Got to change the font to Capilar. And size to 18 points. We're going to center justify that and turn off the hyphenation. Alright. And Troll is saying, woo! Come on. Woo! There you go. Let's see here. I've got it in my head, like, woo! Being gone for a week and a half, or being on long vacations. The worst part of a long vacation, yeah, there you go. Worst part of a long vacation is the mountain of laundry when you get back. The worst part of a long vacation is the mountain of laundry when you get back. It's tackling the mountain of laundry when you get back. When you return, we'll see how. I'll either use get back or return. How about upon your return? Sometimes speaks a little bit formally. Alright, so let's see. Let's play with this. But again, we hate to have. Whew, the worst part of a long vacation is tackling the mountain of laundry. Afterwards? Or is it just tackling the mountain of laundry? The worst part of coming back from. Yeah, we're just going to workshop this. A long vacation is tackling the mountain of laundry. And we don't need afterwards because it's implied. You're coming back, right? I don't like the way that that's breaking, but let's see. Whew, the worst part of coming back from a long vacation is tackling the mountain of laundry. Okay, and then JPuff is saying, mountain, really? Let's avoid hyperbole. Okay. And then you can see, yeah, that's enough room. Otherwise, I mean, I can move these honkies down. I shouldn't say honkies. It's okay. I'm a white guy. All right. Move these characters down. Because there's no sense in, cramming and crowding the type when we have so much room. A mountain, really? Let's avoid hyperbole. Please try to avoid hyperbole. No. A mountain, really? Let's avoid hyperbole. Alright, that's better. Alright, and for this guy I'm going to there we go. I just added a stroke to the font there. There's no bold version of this typeface, so I had just kind of had to put a stroke on it. I don't like how the stroke looks on that question mark, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm actually going to take this, and instead of 1 point stroke, I'm going to make it like a 0.75, so that it's still bold, maybe a 0.5. So it's still bold, but not running together. A mountain, really? Please avoid hyperbole. And then the next is Ricola. Alright, and while we're on the balloon layer, I'm going to save it, but that is where I'm going to change the brush to black. The brush already is black. But I'm going to write in the Ricola. So let's see how this goes. Did not like that line. Okay. Let's save that real quick. And then we'll hop over to the ink layer and start drawing this bad boy in. So we gotta lock the balloon layer, and we're just gonna trace what we had in the blue line layer, like we always do. Troll's ear looks a little big right there, so I think I'm gonna reel it in a little. Hopefully this loop won't have a problem. We did good on the blue line, but this is the line the layer that matters. Hey, all right, I'll take it. What kind of eyeball was that? Let's try this again. That's better. All right. So J-Puff and I each do our own laundry. Like I do most of the other home chores. I do all the cooking and dishes and most of the cleaning because I'm home all day. You know, she's got a 9-to-5 job, and I'm sitting here drawing cartoons with you nice people. So it works out well. I can pitch in here. I got a little bit more time to pitch in. But we each still do our own laundry. And boy, there was a lot of it. After our week and a half in the woods there. Alright. My dang tablet slid out from under my hand again. Or it didn't slide under my hand, it slid on the tabletop. Because of my hand. Maybe it's because it's humid. It's humid in here today. A little more round belly. There we go. You know, it's funny. I look at these strips that I write about myself, and as you can see, you know, you tune in every day. I'm not a small gentleman. I've never been svelte, but you know, I read these strips later on, or you know, look at them even just later in the day after I've drawn them, and I don't think twice about giving myself a big old belly or rolls on the back of my head or you know, hairy back or anything like that. And you know, it makes me happy if I can toot my own horn for a second. That I have no qualms about depicting myself the way I am. Although we did just join a gym, J-Puff and I. We've gone once already. So it could be the beginning of a new era. I'll have to make a skinnier avatar. Alright, let's see here. Alright, hopefully that'll read as laundry soap. Otherwise, I'm not really worried about it. I can come back in later and add something to the label. You went to Das Rec? Are you a lifetime member there, Brad? As I was mentioning earlier, the one of my clients is from a town with very rich German heritage, and their new, I guess, entertainment and exercise gymnasium. It's called Das Rec. I think I'm going to come back in and change her mouth to gray. I think I usually do that. I don't like it in black. How was Das Rec, Brad? The pictures looked pretty cool. Tony member. All right, let's since we've changed panels, let's save that. Control S. To me personally, it sounds too much like Das Reich, which I would avoid in this era of resurgence of Nazism. But the client's always right. That was a terrible line. Alright, let's see here. I gotta make these short pants short. Show his gams. It's wonderful little kitty cat gams. And that's, like I said, the beauty of the blue line. We can kind of cheat it here at the bottom. Hey, Ram, thanks for joining in, buddy. We joined Planet Fitness just because they had a sale going on, $10 a month. And there's one, 2 miles from the troll hole here, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna head over there this afternoon. Yeah, but what can you squat? Do you even lift, troll? I can fairly say that this is the, I was really impressed, Ram, because Janelle works until, well, last week she worked until 5:15 was the first time we went over there. We just joined up last week, and I was like, oh, great, it's going to be the worst time right after work. Everyone's getting off and everything. And it was. I mean, the parking lot was pretty full, but there were a lot of machines open. and you know, a lot of free weights and stuff open too. We did the elliptical for a while and rode some bikes. Work my way up into it. I want to do some free weights here soon. I used to go every day after school in like junior and senior high. I'd go ride the bike for half an hour and then alternate leg day, arm day. That's probably the closest I've ever been to being svelte, was when I was 17. We'll see if that reads as being a sock that he's chewing on, or if it's just confusing. And if it is, we can just cut it right out. We'll see once we get everything else in. Yeah. Right after New Year's, I can assume that it's crazy there. Lifting is fun, Brad. I had a good time when I was doing it. Just, you know, I'm so out of shape. I guess like the main thing for me that kind of you know, kind of urged me towards it was just thinking back on or you know, realizing, I guess, how much my physical well-being, I guess, like how good I feel has deteriorated between 34 and 44, and I can only imagine how horrible it'll be between 44 and 54 if I just go on the you know, the path that I'm on of, you know, 34 to 44 was tough for me. I was drinking a lot and not taking care of myself, and you know, da. So I drink less now, and got a nice lady that helps me stay on track. Domesticating the troll. But, you know, if I don't start doing something now, it only gets harder every year. So we'll try to undo some of the damage done and stave off the grip of death. Not even death, just everything hurts all the time, you know? You know what I'm saying, old folks? Part of the conversation this weekend, we went camping with Janelle and her extended family, which was like 24 people, ranging in age from 8 years old, or 10 years old, I guess, maybe, to 70. You know, and her cousin just turned 30, and her brother's girlfriend just turned 25. So they were talking about, you know, oh yeah, oh man, my back hurts, you know, and the one that just turned 30 is like, yeah, I don't know what it was, something magical turned on, and you know, and all of a sudden now I hurt all the time. And, you know, so I chimed in. I'm like, yeah, boy, you know, sometimes I just hurt myself taking a nap, and I'm sure that the older people were overhearing us going, yeah, just you wait, just you wait. So we'll head some of that off. All right, just save that, but I'm going to do it again just in case, and we're going to hop into the shading layer. We'll lock the inking layer, and we're going to hide the blue line layer, the Bluetooth layer. Well, maybe I'm going to hide it for right now. Look, by hiding it, I noticed that I didn't do nearly any of the lines in Joel's shirt, so we'll take care of that here. You know, that's always my least favorite part of this here television program. I got distracted. You guys know I get easily distracted. But recently I've gotten to a point where, you know, I've been having lower back pain, and I'm like, is that, you know, just lower back pain from having, you know, this extra weight on the front, or was one of my kidneys trying to explode from years of whiskey abuse? So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I've done that. I'm gonna save again now that we're done with the ink layer. Now that we really are done with the ink layer, block that bad boy. Get here to the shading layer. Change the brush to a nice light gray. I like to make it a little bit bigger. It's usually 3 points. I like to switch it up to 7 points. And then we have at it. Let's see. In other news, I finished up a cover for Alex Kammer's, one of Alex Kammer's D&D Adventure League modules that's coming out for GameholeCon. Had a party being ambushed by a couple of owl bears, so that was fun. And then he sent me a new assignment of a flock of peritons, I guess. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But they're like mythological creatures that are half vulture, half deer, with big fangs, and they cast a shadow shaped like a man. So, you know, I guess he approved the sketch. It was a little bit off from the brief that he sent me, but I made kind of a artistic call just based on composition, on what I felt would be a compelling composition, and he approved it. So we will be working on that. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't feel comfortable working on those in front of the audience just because I need to concentrate on them, and you know, I'm so horribly bad at multitasking, and you know, just talking and drawing at the same time. I can kind of multitask some things, but having to be able to put together thoughts and, you know, paint, and then, you know, something important like that. And with painting, a lot of it is me just pushing something until I absolutely hate it, and then like glowering at it for hours, sometimes days, until I figure out what the heck is bothering me with it, and then I fix it. And that doesn't really translate well to live entertainment. Like, you guys could just sit here and watch me look at a piece. Ugh, what's wrong with it? I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna keep staring at it. So we haven't drawn J-Puff in a little while here. We got to fill in her little curly cues and her bow. And then I said I was going to make that mouth gray, but I think we're okay. There we go. Get that line underneath there. Let's save her before we hop over to the next. And here's where I'm going to hop the blue line back on, just so that I can kind of trace what's going on back here. All right, and then we're going to, you know, we don't want these to really stand out too much. It just, you know, people need to be able to tell that they're various articles of clothing. But definitely don't want to detract the focus away from Winston or the goat. Oh, you know what? I still have the brush set to 7. That's what's happening here. I'm going to undo all those lines that we just did. Whee! The beauty of Control-Z. I was like, boy, this brush is pretty big. And it's because I had it Well, I'll tell you what. How about I go in and fill in the shading with the big brush first, and then I'll go in and do the laundry. I'll make the brush smaller to do the laundry. Alright, that guy back there could be all gray. And then I think the tread here will be all gray. I'm looking at it, and I might use 2 grays this time. I'm kind of becoming a fan of that. Like, instead of just having the one light gray color, I like a light gray and then darker gray. So we'll fill that in there, and then put some stripes on Winston's legs here. Fill in his pantalones más fina. Try to get around this button here. All right. And that middle part. Alright. He's got the little W on his head, so I'll do that. That was way too wide. Let's try to make a lighter line there, Jay. There you go. And then his hat can be dark too. I didn't draw the middle of his ear, so we're going to have to come back and maybe do that. We'll see. Alright, now I'm going to change the brush size to 3, because I want to do that ear in the back. I want to have his 3 little hairs coming out, but I didn't want that giant ass brush taking care of it. I'll do that one in black. Let's see here. Okay, now we can start. Let's save it. And we can start drawing in this laundry. It's supposed to be pretty exciting for you guys to watch me drawing cartoon laundry. Here's some tidy whities. I don't wear tidy whities. I wear Duluth Trading Company buck naked boxer briefs, because they're pretty incredible. They're expensive, for men's underwear. They're like 16 to 20 bucks a pair. But whoo, they're nice. I guess I should have included a shirt that has checkers on it, or plaid, since that's all that Troll wears. Maybe he just always wears the same one day after day. I'll make this one the plaid one. There we go. Little banana hammock. A lot of socks when you come back from hiking, from camping, whatever you're doing. I don't want you guys fighting over whether it's fun or relaxing. I won't have that kind of bad blood on my channel. Alright. Alright, let's see here. What do we got? I'm ignoring this shirt right here. I have a shirt that I wear every single time I see Janelle's dad. It's like I said, her family's very competitive. So at the Christmas party, the family Christmas party, they had a competition, and I won a polo shirt with the logo of his company on it. Like, he had obviously just gotten it somewhere, and it was, you know, everybody was winning gag gifts, sort of gag prizes. And so I won a shirt with his logo on it, and I wear it every time that I see him. So that's what that's going to be right there. A little Easter egg for everybody that knows me. There's a bra up here, everybody. Woo! I won't say whether it's mine or Janelle's. Alright, that was a sloppy line there. I just want some nondescript shapes in there. I do own a lot of handkerchiefs, so these could be handkerchiefs, I suppose. Alright, so now that I've done all that, let's save it. And I'm actually going to pick a darker gray, like I threatened to do. And, oops, pushed the wrong button. Use the eyedropper tool to drop it in to a couple places. And as you'll see that it is filling in those ones that I just drew. And that's because I think that I want those guys to be dark gray after I've, just finished drawing them all in light gray. So we're going to go in this very exciting process of making these guys dark gray. The good news is that the blob brush makes everything one solid shape, like as you're drawing. You saw when I did that plaid shirt that everything turned gray and not just I didn't have to do each individual line. So that's the nice thing about the blob brush, one of my favorite parts of it. So this will only take a second here. As long as the lines are touching, it fills them all in. Okay, because I want to make the entire pile that light gray. So what I'm going to do now is take the blob brush and draw in parts that I want to be the darker gray. Like I want his cleats, the traction on his shoes to be the dark gray, and laces. Oh, I never did the stripes on his tail. Give him the hat band, that back ear there. Yeah, I guess I'll do his stripes in the darker gray too. That way they stand out. And we can do the ear there. Alright. And what do we want to be darker gray over here? Wow, that's a pretty low jet. I don't hear a lot of... I'm nowhere near an airport, so I don't hear a lot of aircraft noise, but something just flew by. There, that hopefully looks like soap. We'll make this cap the darker gray. Alright, and then I need to, let's see, I need to make a new layer actually to put between the halftone and the shading layer. And that one, since I'm kind of doing this backwards, that one I need to make the light gray. So actually I'm going to do our old trick of using the pen tool. And I want a light gray fill on that. Let's see here. Let's see what the... There we go. And we're just going to start defining the shape like we do. You know, you see me do this all the time when I do the halftones. But since I have such a large area to fill with this light gray, instead of using the brush and having a bunch of crappy parts or, you know, having to be real careful around his feet here or the goat, I'll just use the pen tool. We can be a little bit more precise, take a couple extra minutes to do it right. Probably not even a couple extra minutes, a couple extra seconds. Wow, another big jet. I hope it's not the Russians invading. I haven't watched Red Dawn in about a year or two. So I'm a lot of practice for my guerrilla warfare. Alright, we want to get that sock. See, it's part of the mountain there. And, you know, I'm just basically generally following the outline shape here with these points. I don't have to be too accurate. Although here, I want to make sure that this goat stands out against the gray, so we will outline him as best we can. The horn doesn't really matter because it's all colored in gray. You wouldn't see this behind it anyway. And then once I'm done with this nonsense, we'll hide that blue line layer and see if I horrendously missed anything. I know I left out part of Troll's leg in the first panel. So we'll go back and fix that with black ink once we're done with this. Let's see how this works here. And we got the guy in the back. He's just a different gray color. And we're a couple of points away here from just having it all done. There you go. Let's zoom out and see what we're left with. I'll deselect it. Alright, and we'll hide that blue line layer. I think that's alright. If I want to, and I probably will, I'll put a halftone in the back there. But let's see, yeah, I missed a little line there on Troll's leg. And I want to put a little shade on the alpine horn there, the Matterhorn. So we'll go back to the blob brush, zoom in a little bit. I just want to put a shadow on it. Alright. So we're doing pretty good. I think we'll hop up here to the ink layer. I want to fix this little line here. Let's make that eraser smaller though. Come on now. It's not giving me the option. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go up to the blob brush and we will just, oops, come on, sample the white and we'll, come on. Alright, let's see here. There, that's awesome. Alright, and then I want to switch it up to the black. Come on. And draw in anything I missed here. Which I think is maybe just that piece on Troll's leg. Right. Okay. Now for us, next is just the hop up here to the balloons layer. We're going to lock the ink and the mysterious layer 7, which is our secondary shading layer. And we're going to draw in these balloons. Terrible. And then, I like to make the ones way up top, I like to just run them right off. Alright, and now we can reposition this. Reposition this. Really? Please avoid hyperbole. Whew, the worst part of coming back from a long vacation is tackling the mountain of laundry. A mountain, really? Please avoid hyperbole. I like it. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is save it real quick. Control S. And then we'll work on the halftone layer. What are we doing here? 11:02. You see, I said when I started this off, I'm like, it's 2 panels. We'll keep it within an hour. No problem. And here we are. But that's all right. I enjoy spending time with you fine people. All right, so we're on the halftone layer. We're going to unlock that bad boy first. And we're going to choose a swatch. And like I said, I should get rid of the swatches that I don't use. I don't know why I don't. I just forget to do it, and then next time I come, it's like, oh yeah, I was going to do that, wasn't I? So let's see here. For this one, I just kind of want like a general curve. God, come on. I just want like a general curve that doesn't have any weird tangents. There you go. But I think that's the right pattern I'm looking for anyway. And then in the background, as long as I have that pattern, we're going to make a mountainscape back behind Winston. And that can go back behind the mountain of laundry because we've got that all filled in with gray. Alright, so on this panel, let's save it real quick. And on the second panel, I'm just going to cheat and use the blob brush with white fill for the goat and Winston, just because it's a pretty small area where the halftone showed through. Like I said, yeah, I try to avoid this just because it's sort of sloppy. And now that I'm looking at it, I see that it's confusing, like his legs are somewhat confusing. So I might go in there with the dark gray here in a second and make that leg that's in the back dark gray, and then the space between his legs light gray of the laundry pile. Alright, we got that guy taken care of. Kitty cat's legs. His tail. It's the spot there. It's the problem, is I missed the spot with this brush. But we can be a little fast and dirty. These are just small areas. Cover up the Winston here. I noticed the spot there where I left the bra right there needs to be a darker tone. So we find these little oversights as we go through it. All right, now control here. We'll definitely use the tail or the brush for these little tails here. I have to decide if I want to paint in troll and like use the shape tool to do troll and J-Puff's bodies, or just use this brush and be lazy about it. Let's just be lazy. But let's pump this up at least to 7 points, so that it's a bigger brush when we push down hard and we can cover more area. We'll still, have mistakes, because that's what happens, but be a little bit faster than you guys just sitting here watching me doodle in white. Alright. Just letting it fly here. So I've got all my camping gear kind of stretched out on the back patio because we got rained on, like I said, all weekend. Man, it was miserable. But now we're going camping again next weekend, and the forecast looks good. Looks like it's going to be around 80 and partly sunny, except for Sunday. They're showing a little rain. It'll be just in time to put your tent away wet, so that you have to have it in your backyard patio stretched out while you're streaming on Monday morning. But that's a week away. It's anyone's call what the weather will actually be like. Weathermen are never ever correct. Alright, so I'm going to save that. I think we did well there for that layer. And then I'm going to go here to the shading layer. Use the eyedropper tool to pick up that dark gray. And we're going to use the eyedropper tool again to dump it into that one single line. And then I wanted to fix his legs so there's no ambiguity. So there you go, that's there. And then use the eyedropper tool to pick up that lighter gray color. And again, with the blob brush, paint in the mountain of clothes behind him. Oops. A little sloppy with that. There you go. Let me see here. Where do I want this to be? The mountain behind him. Yeah, that's fine. Nobody's going to be really paying attention to him anyway. I'm just going to do a little housekeeping as long as I'm in here. Change the blob brush back to 3. I want to put a little shading on the lederhosen here. Little W for the windstone. Shading underneath the brim there. Alright. Alright, so let's zoom out and see what our final result is. Now that I'm looking at the halftone, I'm not sure about the pattern that I chose. So what we can do is just select the 2 halftones and just, you've seen me do this a million times. Just hop through the different patterns that I have, that I found somewhere free online. They're usually too much, though, like that one. That one's not terrible, but I think it's still a little much. Let me deselect so we don't get those blue lines around everything. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to take this shape and adjust it a little bit. And get the white arrow. Oops. Don't want the whole thing. I just want to adjust the angle of this and the angle of that to make it not as much in the background. Play up the drama of those shapes coming out. Let's see. I want that. Come on. I want that guy to be tighter angle. This guy can come out a little bit. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to use the blob brush with white fill just to paint out this beginning of the Ricola. I don't like having the type running over that dot pattern. So we're just going to cheat it out a little bit. Give it an implied word balloon. There you go. I'm happy with that. Great. Alright, I think we have a comic strip, everybody. How exciting is that? Alright, let me save it again, just to make sure. Oh, see, as soon as I save it, I see something else. Down here at the bottom of the troll's leg, his little pant cuff is showing through, so we'll paint that. There's a spot right there where it was showing through because we got lazy with the brush. It's right here next to his head. So you go back in his ear. You go back in and you find all these things. That's the downside of using that brush instead of the shape tool. Is that you miss a couple things, like inside this sock here, inside the goat's head. Boy, I missed a lot, actually. How's Winston looking? Winston's looking pretty good. Alright. I think that I liked this better as the lighter one. Dang it. No, I can't find the right one. That is not the one. I like that first panel as the lighter halftone, and then the second one is the darker one, just because we want those implied mountains in the background. I could futz around with this all day, though. Let's see here. Yeah, that one's not so bad. Okay, and I want to put in a shape here. Just a curve. And I want that filled with white, just to kind of break up that shape. Make it seem like J-Puff is floating, which is what she does, right? That's her shtick. Alright, yeah, I like the way that flows better. This is all pretty arbitrary. It's just me looking at the art going, okay, I think this will work. I think that'll work. But yeah, I think we're onto something here. So let us. Yeah, let us save this and finally be done. What time we got? 11:15. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Very few technical glitches, if any. That's pretty exciting for a Monday morning, especially. We'll be back on Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to continue with a related topic about mountaineering and the search for enlightenment. So I hope you guys tune in. I'll, of course, post that link, send the link, and yeah, you guys can join in and see the fun. I'm going to clean this guy up, save it, and post it to the Patreon right now. Tomorrow I'll post it to Facebook, Twitter, and trollandfriends.com. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.